Hi, my name is Aditya Dantuluri, and I'm a distance learner for this class. To use my program, all you need to do is build it and run it, and then just follow the prompts. There should be an exe file if you didn't want to build it, and then to exit, just letter and enter. The data structures I used were lists, vectors, and nodes, and a custom class called node. Node points to its parent, and it contains all the information about itself. There's also a class called pseudonode, which is essentially node, but I've stripped of the pointers, which I use as a container to pass along the successors for a parent. My successor function is this class over here called getChildren. Sorry, this function method over here called getChildren. It returns a list of pseudonodes, and it takes in the parent state and whatever it costs to get to the parent state. As you can see, it bases each new cost based on whatever value is moved, and it also checks to make sure that it doesn't go out of frame. Up here I have heuristic 1, heuristic 2. Heuristic 1 is just the number of elements that are not in the right space, and then heuristic 2 is how far each element is from being in its correct location, and print state just prints out each state in a nice 3x3 grid. Then if we go back to source, we have switch cases to set the different inputs. Breadth first search, essentially it what's called it starts. You have your root node, and then you have your N list and your S list. Your N list is the nodes you're currently working with, and then your S list is the nodes that have already been popped off the tree or the what's called the spent list, you could say. And what's called it just double checks to make sure it goes through all the states that are in an N list, and it double checks to make sure each state is not in the S list, and if it was in the S list, it would mean that it's already been used, so it would just pop it off without getting its successors. But if it isn't in the if it isn't in the S list, then the loop continues or keeps on going, and I splice into S list the pop what I would have popped or N list up again, because pop front destroys the node instead of and over here I have where I get my children here, and for I essentially add the nodes to the back of the N list, so that way I do all the parents before I do the children. And then here I'm just building the output from backwards, because if I did it as it was, it would print starting at the goal and ending at the root. I just have this, so I flip it around and I start at the root and end at the goal. Depth first search is the same. Depth first search is the same thing as breadth, except I push to the front of it, so it does the child before it does the children before it does the next parent. Uniform cost search, instead of just simply doing the first node in the list, it goes and finds the node with the lowest G cost, and it does that node instead, and it also makes sure that it pops that node instead of popping the front node. Here it adds in. Well, it just pushes to the front, because it doesn't really matter where it is, because I'm not ordering it and I'm just looking through it each time. And then it sets G cost here, which it gets from the successor function. Best first search is the same thing, except it uses heuristic 1 to get your H cost, and then it finds the lowest H cost and it uses that one instead. A star just is the same thing, except it uses F cost, and F cost is gotten from getting the H cost through heuristic 1, and then it's just a G cost plus G cost plus H cost at that point. A star 2 search works the exact same way as A star 1, except it uses heuristic 2 here and here, and so on and so forth.